Hello there again, it's Manny and I'm still here, and you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this time because it's kind of cold out there, but again you can see now that it's this is during the day, and again I can see Terra Luna. This is awesome setting. I hope to God that one of these days you guys can come and see this. But as promised, I'm just going to do this one video where I'm going to go over the digital event guide for the 2025 Princess Half Marathon weekend. So we're going to go over everything. I'm gonna at least, and the whole goal of this video is so that way you know where to find the information for yourself instead of listening to somebody online. It doesn't, that includes me, somebody online that may give you the wrong information. You can go exactly to where you need to find it, so that way you can have the best experience at Princess. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So as promised, we're going to go over the digital event guide for the Princess Half Marathon weekend. So we're going to start off at the runDisney page. I currently have it on the Half Marathon. So we are going to click on events. It's going to say all races, Walt Disney World. We're going to click on Disney Princess. Okay, so when we look up here, it's going to be the same thing as before. Weekend overview, events, runner information. We're going to click on runner information, and we're going to get to digital event guide. All right, so once we get to digital event guide, we will see the Disney Half Marathon. At the very top, it says welcome, weekend events, and digital expo. And again, we have Adam Ball, Vice President of ESPN Wild World of Sports, welcoming us. If you want to go over that, you can. So we're going to go over the next, at the very top, it's going to say welcome, weekend events, digital expo. We're going to go to weekend events, and we're going to go one by one. Again, stuff might be repetitive. We're not going to repeat it, but I like the font on this one. This was actually pretty cool. So important information. So we're going to click on that. First one now is costume guidelines. I am not an expert in costumes because I don't dress up in costumes. There's also on the top, it says event safety. I'm going to go event safety, park rules, and costume guidelines. So these are very important. Event safety is always important. So make sure that you're following the rules. If you're not, you can get kicked out. They're going to defer to Walt Disney World Resort park rules. So if you want to see those, you can click on that. And then they have a video, a short little video on costume guidelines. We'll go over that in a little bit because they should have them here. And so now we're just going to go one by one. So tap to enlarge. So the first one is going to be safety information. So these are the weather conditions. More than likely, especially it can happen. It happened a few years ago. Happened right before the pandemic, actually. There was a heat advisory, and so then they might do yellow or red, and that means that they can actually start cutting the courses and stuff, or shortening the courses. So I've been through that before, so I've seen that. So make sure you pay attention to that. So half marathon weekend. This is a very general guideline. We're going to go over one by one, but they have the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, the projected start times. So roughly when you're going to get started, so that way you get an idea. So and if you notice that there is all for the 5K, there's only to group F. The 10K and the half marathon have G. So just make sure that you familiarize yourself with this so you can get with your pace. I would still add another 5-10 minutes just because you don't know what's going to happen. So event waiver and check-in. So this is, a lot of people will start asking, when do we get our event waiver and the check-in pass, especially the check-in pass. The event waiver you should have already done. If you haven't done that already, you can do that. Not to worry if you don't do it or you can't get access to it. There is a place at the Expo. If you watch the Expo videos, you will see at ESPN Wild World of Sports, before you go pick up your bib, there is a place where you can print it out and sign it. So that way you can get that taken care of. So it's going to give you a complete step-by-step on how to do it today. Now, here is the important thing. Expo check-in pass, that's at the bottom, and I'm looking at it right-hand corner. Your Expo check-in pass will be needed for runDisney Health and Fitness Expo to pick up your race bib. Your Expo check-in pass will be available to you on Monday, February 17th. So people are asking right now, more than likely, people are going to start asking, when do I get it? When do I get it? February 17th, that Monday, you're going to get an email, or you can log into your account and it'll be there. You can click it, you can print it out, or you can take a screenshot, whichever one works. But also important here is, and it does say bring a printed or digital copy of your Expo check-in pass and a valid ID. If you're an adult, you need a valid ID. Those of you, if you have kids under 18, they do not do that. They do not need that. They just need the guardian there to take care of that. Okay. So costume guidelines. So we're going to go over this one. Gone over this many, many times. And so just make sure it does not stick out. Nothing that can harm people. Just use common sense. And I know a lot of people want to do stuff, and I've seen some great costumes, but you think about it logically. If somebody turns and they're still sticking out and they didn't see somebody, they can hit somebody, cut them, hurt them, bruise them up, and it's not a fun thing for them. As it is, we're congested. Might as well not add anything that can stick out. So that's what I always try to tell people, and follow the guidelines. At any time, they can enforce them. So what that means is that in the past, they have gotten lenient on certain things, but as soon as one person gets hurt, they're going to start enforcing them. So the argument of, well, you let me do it last time, is not going to be valid. So just remember that. If you want to go over them one by one, but little things such as layered clothing, including tutus and stuff, that follow the natural contour of the body are permitted. Those things are permitted. You can actually take flags, so make sure that you read what you can do. Themed shirts, blouses, sweatshirts are acceptable. Nothing vulgar, anything that you wouldn't, especially you don't want your kids to be exposed to. So please do not do that. And the bottom line is the important part here. Please note that while costumed attire may be worn during the Run Disney events, guests 14 and older are not permitted to wear costumes attire to the theme parks during normal operating hours. So again, people can mistake you, and they're going to start taking pictures, and they do not like that. So because you're not an employee there, and so you need to change that. And that's it for that one. So let's move on to the next one. Reminders, okay. And these are kind of physical, common sense. I'm sorry. Make sure that you know your limitations. So if you're not in good health, make sure you go to the doctor, not a social media doctor who puts stuff online, an actual doctor who can actually see you and diagnose you and knows what you're going through, not somebody who just, and again, a good doctor, a valid doctor is probably not going to diagnose you on social media. That's not anything that they would do. So all athletes, guests, costumes, bags are subject to screening entering the expo. We are going to go through an area where we're going to have to go through security. So make sure that you understand that. So race policies. So there's a lot of race policies, such as selfie sticks, baby joggers, strollers, baby carriers, backpacks, skates, scooters, bicycles, skateboards, and animals of any kind are prohibited on the course. There is that is a little bit of a gray area when it comes to animals, because support animals are allowed. That's something you have to go through Run Disney. I cannot say yes, you can take an animal if you want to. You're going to have to get permission from Run Disney. I love dogs, and I've seen some well-behaved dogs on the course. I have no issues with them. But again, please do not say, well, Manny said no. Although I love dogs, you're still subject to whatever Run Disney does say. Any children under the race age requirement will not be permitted to the start group. So just make sure, do not sneak in anybody. The worst case scenario is if you get caught, they can ban you. And so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take the chance, because again, even if they're just 1 year away or whatever it is, and they badly want to do it, and I feel for you, I still don't think it's worth it to being banned. So all participants must attend the expo in the days prior to the race with a valid photo ID, their signed digital waiver and check-in pass to pick up your race bib, okay? For drivers, all athletes and spectators must park at Epcot. so you know where you got to park. For resort guests, they have resort buses, and they run. We'll go over that in a little bit. And so they have the starting groups. Of course, I start in the back, and I'm going to continue that for this one. I'll go into that a little bit later because I got some news, but I'll announce that a lot later, closer to the date and stuff. But I start in the back, so it doesn't bother me like what corral I get. I just know that I'm going to be starting in the back. Race bib and start group assigned participants assigned to each race bib. So you're going to get your race bib when you pick up at the expo. Before that, it's very much speculation which group you're going to be in. And you can sit there, and I see a lot of people out there who post up, this was last year, this was the year before, this was this and stuff. If you want to, it's up to you. I'm not going to control that. But if you want to, you can sit there and speculate where you're going to be. But I would just trust your training. When it comes to that, please trust your training. If you do not trust your training, then I don't understand why you're out there. Trust your training and understand that you're probably going to be, there's going to be hiccups on there. So there's going to be more, obviously when you're training, there's not congestion and so forth. And there's not characters and everything. But that's why I always say, if you want to make sure that you get, you finish and you're fine, train at a faster pace instead of 16-minute mile. I always suggest 14-minute mile, because especially for the longer runs, you're going to get yourself a little bit of a cushion, plus the cushion you get before the last group, the balloon ladies, start. So if you start off 15 minutes ahead of them, and then you run the first 5 miles 2 minutes faster, then you're 25 minutes ahead of them already. And so you got that leeway. And so, but again, trust your training. It's up to you. That's something that I cannot do, but for you. But that's it. So now we are going to say, make sure that your bib is visible and it's pinned on all 4 corners. No, you can't cover it. If it's colder, they'll kind of allow it, but after a while, make sure that it's seen. Just again, don't break any rules. If a participant is seen without their bib number while running on the course, they will be removed. So, and again, another thing that I think it'll be here is that you cannot go off course either. Remember, this is for the safety of the runners. And everybody who thinks that, hey, I can get off course to go see this, to go do this, to go see a family member and stuff. Imagine if everybody starts doing that. It's not going to be a good thing. And so Disney, again, at any time can enforce any of the rules that they have. And so just remember that. So it says no start group changes will be made at the runDisney and Health Fitness Expo. Again, you're basically whatever you put in there. I've seen things change. If it's something that's a really outrageous mistake, then do it, but don't just do it to do it. Remember this rule. If everybody would do that, then everybody would start in A, and A would be this huge group, so you're back to the same problem. So it's not, it's not viable. Just kind of, again, trust your training. So participants must enter through the staging area in the area within the Epcot parking lot in order to access the start groups. Failure to do so may restart in disqualification. Those of you who are staying somewhere close to Epcot and behind and think that you can walk, you cannot. And so please do not do that if you are seen trying to walk around. First of all, it's a long, long walk. Second of all, you can't be banned. So participants must complete the race within the 16-minute per mile pacing requirements established. We've already gone over that. Pacing requirements are inclusive of taking photos with characters, restroom breaks, and food and water stops. By the way, something that people don't know this, but a lot of people don't know this, the balloon ladies don't stop for breaks. It's funny how that happens, but they all think that they stop. They don't get breaks, even on the marathon. So flag guidelines. Okay, this is for the people that carry flags. I don't carry a flag. I have a personal friend that does. He abides by the rules. And so mainly, the one thing, and you can read this on your own because it can't be bigger than, the certain size. I think it's 3 by 5 feet. No poles that have anything with jagged edges, any sharp edges, anything with that you can use as a weapon. If you swing it and it's heavy, so it's metal, and you hit somebody, you're going to hurt somebody. So that you can't use. Anything that's softer, like a plastic pipe or something like that. So read that right here, so that way, in case you do want to get one of those that's fine. Race day information, gear bag check. Just remember this. This is the biggest rule of that. Is they're going to give you a plastic clear bag at the expo with your shirts in it. Whenever you go pick up your shirts, that's the only bag you can use. You can put bags inside of there, but you cannot bring those other bags. If you bring another bag, they're not going to check it. So you're going to get stuck trying to carry that thing or giving it to a loved one before that. So you have to use that, okay? Food and beverages, they have food and beverages. If you watch the videos, they're there. You can buy stuff. If it's water, go all the way to the running area because there is free water there. Lost and found, anything found, clothing is going to be probably donated. If it's something of value, they're going to turn it in. So there's going to be lost and found, and unclaimed lost and found items will be returned to Epcot guest relations desk outside the park entrance upon race completion. And they do a pretty good job of that one. That one, I do have to say, they do a really good job. So that's that one. Race etiquette, man, I got to do a whole video on this one again. And I wish that Disney would actually do this, because there's a lot of stuff that's really missing here, and they try to do a job, and they try to be as friendly as possible, but we got to take it a step further. So please pay attention to race instructions, you know, both digital and verbal. Just on down the line, the ones I'm going to read here, wear your race bib and smile. That's it. Please enter your correct start group. That's proper etiquette again, because again, if everybody starts, and I have seen people that claim they jump all the time. Imagine if everybody starts doing that, you're going to have chaos. Don't do that. Run or walk no more than 2 abreast. And when it is tight, I actually say back to back, you know, I'll actually get behind if I'm running with somebody too, because that's not right. You don't want to clog up, and again, you want to have fun, but you don't want to hinder anybody else's fun, if that makes sense. If you want to run with a friend and they are in a different start group, the faster of the two can move back to the slower group. Remember my friend Jonathan? He started with me in the 5K, so he went back with me. That is a definition of race etiquette and proper race etiquette. So, yeah, just look at what Jonathan does. I mean, he does it right. that's all I'll say. So, if you're stopping at the water station, grab it and then move away from the table so other people can do that. Move to the side if somebody says excuse me or coming through, and then do not post on social media that runners should not do that. Okay, you know, it is hard. We have to maneuver a lot of times. So again, try to stay as much to the right as possible, so we have ways to maneuver. But I have it on film where I have to sometimes swim between, because walkers are all over the place, and I completely understand, because after a while you're tired, you're hurting, everything, so you're not really even paying attention. But the more you can pay attention, the better off for everybody's enjoyment. So feel free to, you know, shout out encouraging words. I try to do that myself. When you're approaching the finish line, you may see loved ones. Please do not encourage anybody. I completely understand, because groups of people want to do this, they want to come together, but when they do, they clog up stuff. So just be courteous. If you're gonna do this, I always try to tell people, go in as quickly as possible and disperse, and so that way other people can do that. And the proper way of doing it is looking behind you to see where other runners are coming from, so that way you can adjust as needed. So in other words, instead of just moving over to your right just instinctively, you can look, because if the runners are coming to the right and they're coming through pretty quickly, move over to the left, you know. So look over your shoulders before you do that. And again, this is just the beginning. So raising your hand is first, so you don't stop right after you, or before, or right when you raise your hand. What you got to do is raise your hand, count to 3, so that people behind you can have enough time to get around you. So I hope that makes sense. Enjoy the post-race refreshment, celebrate, and have a great race. Create a great race, because it's really up to you when it comes down to it. Snack box nutrition, this is actually pretty cool. So for the 5K, you get the Sunny Water stop locations. You get one, I'm sorry. For the Princess 10K, you get 3 water stops. For the that's for the 10K. For the half marathon, you get 1 just water stop, 8 combined water and Powerade, and 1 food stop. And it does give you the information. So they got a snack box. They got and then the banana. Ooh, the banana. You pay a lot of money for 1 banana per race. Sometimes they give you 2 if they have enough. Alrighty. Post-race information. So this is where afterward you can get your race results. So there is going to be a place on the runDisney page. So once you click on events like we did earlier, it's going to say race results, and you can put in your information. Give them at least till later that day, maybe even a couple of days, so they can get that information. So make sure. So it's going to only be the 10K and the half. So it'll be posted, and it says the evening of each race. So that's it. Coast to coast. So if you're doing a 10-mile run or longer, so for example, I did not finish the half marathon, so I do not qualify for this coast to coast, this coming Disneyland one. But if I finish the half marathon at Disneyland that's coming up, and then I finish this one, then I will qualify for coast to coast, and I will get that extra medal. So it gives you the information right here, and if you're doing the challenges, that's also it. As long as you finish the half marathon, 10 mile or longer, you can get it. Okay, Advent Health Medical is there. They do a pretty good job. They have tents all over the place. They have tents at the end. So in case that you need anything, and there's a lot of them that are on bikes. So make sure that if you're struggling, something's going on, raise your hand, let them know, so that way they can get you some medical attention. And don't try to be brave, especially if you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, feel like you're about to pass out. Let them know so they can adjust accordingly. So maybe you can continue on if they can do their magic. So make sure that take care of yourself. And the minivan is going to be very simple. That's connected to a lift. So if you want to use that, you're more than welcome to. But if you're on resort property, you're gonna have transportation. So we're gonna go back to weekend events. So Health and Fitness Expo. So here are the dates. And the first day is the one that you have to go to if you're running the 5K. You just have to go the day before. So if you're just running the 10K, you can go the day before, which is Friday. If you're just running the half marathon, you can go the day before, which is Saturday. And here are the times, and they will have the virtual queue. So I'm going to go over that information. So because they have the hours, they have transportation, everything. We'll go over that in a little bit. The virtual queue. So on February 20th, the virtual queue will open, and that is going to be, and I'll do a short video. I have short videos anyways to show you how to get that virtual queue. It gives you step-by-step instruction. It does say that your estimated wait time and step, but it should say when you can get it. And the key things to remember, okay, right there. It opens up at 8:30 a.m. on February 20th. Now, also, you can select the number of guests, up to 6 people total in your shopping cart, join the virtual queue. Now, at Disney World, usually those people have to be on in your runDisney experience, so they're going to be friends or family. Make sure you add them, so make sure that they can do that so they can go in. Now, the virtual queue is needed for usually just the day 1 of the expo, and it's just for merchandise. If you're just going to go pick up your bib, pick up your race shirts, go to the general expo, you're fine if you do not want to buy anything. If you pre-purchase stuff, you don't need to do it either. They'll send you to a place where you can go and you can pick them up. So just make sure that if you're going to go to the merchandise part, and you're going to get in first day. It just depends on how it is. A lot of times they'll actually let people in after a certain amount of time. So after a certain time, they go, hey, we're just letting people in because they kind of caught up, and so that's it. So make sure you understand that. Okay, event waivers, we've already basically gone over that. And remember, Monday, February 17th is the day where you can get that, okay? Race, bib, and shirt pickups. So, and it's going to give you what I've just said. The 5K you have to pick up by Thursday. The 10K challenge you got to pick up by Thursday, Friday, or by Thursday or Friday. Half marathon Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. And so you have to pick it up. You're going to have your ID. So that's it. And there's two distinct places. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. There's a place where you go and you pick up your bib first. Characters are usually there. And you're going to have to leave that area, go to where the General Expo is. It's a huge field house. And when you do that there, in the back, there's usually, and you can watch my Expo videos, in the back, that's where you get shirts. Let's say you get a shirt that's defective or the wrong size. There is an exchange there too. Expo transportation. This is from anywhere on Disney property, including Shades of Green, the Swan, and the Dolphin. They start about 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after, okay? So this answers the question when you say, man, and again, people will panic, and then they get to the hotel, and sometimes the people there don't know, so they panic. And they said, they don't know, they don't think that we're going to have anything. And I've actually been staying at an all-star resort where I actually saw somebody post that they just told them they're not going to be any. And then I walked by and there's the A-frames with everything, all the information there. So yeah, if you're staying on property, you're going to get transportation. I'm not going to go over the minivan because that's the same one as before. So these are the maps. And so, so the A is when we're walking up. So if you're walking up from the bottom of the screen towards the top, A is to the right. And that's where they have the official merchandise, pre-purchase stuff, the distance number photo ops, and the Club Run Disney Platinum headquarters in the second level. So that's really cool. That's one of the perks about Platinum. You just go over there and you pick up your stuff. They got, drinks and stuff like that. So you don't have to go anywhere else. B is the next one up. And I'm actually going to go to C because you really should go to C first. So C, you're going to pass by the baseball field on the left-hand side. You're going to go over there, and that's where the race bib pickup is. Run Disney account services, runner relations, athletes with disabilities booths, character greetings, and Disney photo pass, and the waiver signing. So that you're going to have to pick up there at C first to go to B, because in B, you have your race shirt pickup, event information and transportation, Run Disney Showcase, sponsor and exhibitor booths, and you got food and beverages, so you can eat there. Usually, I think on Saturday, sometimes there's not 100% open. I don't know. I kind of get confused because sometimes it's open, sometimes it's not. They got a little restaurant back there, which it's actually pretty good, so I like it back there. Alrighty, so here are the maps, and this is going to be the first one. This is A. So you're going to be able to see the official Run Disney merchandise as you walk in. It is a little bit of a walk, and then they do kind of stage you, and then you walk in there. But you can see where everything is here. Checkout, mobile checkout, Club Run Disney, and it does have the photos for the miles and stuff. Alrighty, so this is going to be B. So this is kind of a little bit different. So you're going to enter and you're going to have to go down some stairs. The exhibitors are all there. Some of the exhibitors, and we're going to go over them in a little bit, are really, really cool. So if you forgot something, Fit to Run is usually there. I have actually forgotten things. I forgot something during marathon weekend, so I had to buy something there, and that's fine. They usually have a lot of running gear, so that's there. And they have some cool exhibitors. And if you see towards the right of the picture, the athletic center, that's where the shirt pickups are in the back. And there is a place to exchange shirts. All right. The field house, you see the breakdown. So we are going to go enter, then we're going to have to walk all the way around, go into the lower level, and you can see the breakdown. So it looks like the 5K is the big one. So there's going to be a lot of people in the 5K. The challenge half and the 10K are not as big. But then they have the character greetings. That's usually in the back. So it's in the back. So so you'll see those after you pick up your bibs. I always recommend do not take pictures with your bibs. Post them on your regular social media. Do not post them on the group settings. There's a lot of people out there that can, not will, but can. They can make copies of it and they can sell them out there. I've seen it happen before. People have fallen for these. They'll sell them. People are desperate, so they $200 for a bib. They won't notice that there's nothing in the back. There's no timer, nothing like that. And if you get caught, you can be banned. So just don't do that, okay? Alrighty, so now let's go back. And it's just gonna go pretty quickly now because 5K, we've already gone through this. So the start group open, so it's going to be the same thing for the 10K and the half. This is when they start, 3:45. So at 3:45, you can start getting into your corrals. The start group close is the important part. So at 4:45, you can no longer get an A. They will put you in B. At 4:50, you can no longer get in B. You're gonna have to get in C. So if you don't get there early enough, they're gonna move you back, and that's part of it. That's part of the policy. Because if not, then people are running in. They're clogging up area and stuff. So then they have the projected start time, which we've already seen. Alrighty, spectator viewing points. These are going to be something that I'm not going to go over just the 5K because this one's the simplest one. So it's going to give you the locations of where you can see the start and the finish line. There's places I spectated before. I had a video out a couple of years ago, so I spectated before. So it tells you when you can spectate the time and it details where you can go to. So if you have loved ones who want to spectate, this is where you're going to go. Just go to your particular race. So if you're running the half marathon, this is not going to help you. Resort transportation, and it's the breakdown of when they start. It's to be at your resort too if you're staying on Disney property, Shades of Green, Swan, and Dolphin. So this is a resort to start line, finish line to resorts, and will monorails be available for the half marathon, 2:30 a.m. And so you see that. So again, adjust accordingly. So race etiquette, we've already gone over this one, so we're not going to go over this again. Event reminders, this is the same. The one thing that I'm going to go here is participants and spectators are strongly encouraged to arrive at Epcot parking lot each day no later than 4 a.m. If you get there after, you might be subject to not getting in. So just remember that. So there is going to be a security. So you're going to go through security and so forth. So remember that. Snack box, we've already gone over that. So 5K course, this one's going to be very simple. We start in the parking lot. We run about a mile or so outside. Then we enter Epcot. We run through World Showcase, run through the front where Spaceship Earth is, and we finish in the front of Epcot. Very, very simple. It's a basic run. So these, and I won't go over them once we get to the other ones too. So these are the and the staging areas. So you're going to enter, where is it? So, you entered through the bottom. So that's the post. That's where the finish line is. So we entered through the bottom part of it, follow the purple. We're going to walk over to where the reunion area is. That's where the staging area. You notice at the very top of it, it says entertainment. There's food, beverages, baby care, information tent, just on down the line. We're going to cross over with the bib check, okay, to go into the start groups. There is another way that you can walk over, and you're going to see in the top left hand, spectator viewing. That's where you can cross over. I've done that many times. So you're there. And of course, when you finish, there is a medical tent right there. The map of the parking lots. So you're going to see all the event parking. So if you're driving there, make sure that you understand where you can park. And at Disney World, as far as I know, and that's what they've done for a long time, you park there for free. So as long as you get there, I think it's before 4. So that's it. Minivan, I'm not going to go over that one. So now we're going to move over to the 10K. Again, they're going to go a little bit faster because they're the same. So now we get the start groups, 3:45. Again, you're going to get your projected start time. So that way you basically know roughly what time you're going to start. And what time the groups close. And that's the important part right there. All right, spectator viewing, you're going to basically have the same thing. So start and finish are going to be basically the same places. Times are going to be a little bit different because obviously it's a longer race. Resort transportation, the same thing. So we've already seen this. And look at the monorail and, of course, the Skyliner. It's not open. So race etiquette, event reminders, unofficial race results, because now this is times. So families and friends will be able to follow their favorite runner with split times. If you click on this, I'll click on this pretty quickly. So it should take you to Track Shack. Yeah, Track Shack events. So right now it's not available, but when it is available, you're going to be able to put your runner's name, claim that name, and you will be able to follow if they're running. And they will be in intervals. So for example, for the 10K at the once they start, they'll let you know at the 5K, and then they're finished. And that's it. For the marathon, there'll be a couple more. So So we're going to go over the 10K map. Same start. We go the opposite way though. We run a couple, actually about 3 miles outside. Then we go into Epcot. We actually go towards the boardwalk, come around in, we go into World Showcase, pass by Spaceship Earth, and we finish. And if you look, the water stations are in blue. The medical stations are in the red, the plus, and you have your mile markers. So you'll be able to basically tell where you're going, okay? So in case you really want to look at the map and say, all right, I really want to know where I'm going and stuff. All right, so that's that. And let's go back over here. Road closures, this starts to be important, especially if you're driving or if you're traveling that morning. You did the 5K and you gotta go somewhere. So road closures and modified traffic patterns. So make sure that you understand this. I'm not gonna go over it 100%. Just understand that there's gonna be some places that are gonna be completely closed. Some that are gonna be partially closed. I've seen people say, well, I'm staying at Pop Century. Pop Century's way on the other side. You're not gonna have to worry about that. If you're staying at any of the Epcot areas, and even Boardwalk, you should still be fine. This should not affect a lot of people. The reason that we run and finish where we do is because there's an out going that way that hardly anybody goes through. So that's the reason they do that. Staging area is the same. The lots are the same, and the mini van we already know about. So let's move on to the half. Okay, so now the things that are going to be different are going to be the start group open, so 3:15, and then the start group close is going to be almost the same. It looks like almost the same. The rejected start time, because there are probably going to be a little bit more runners, that might be adjusted. Spectators, this is going to be moved, and they have the approximate miles. So at 4.5 at the Grand Floridian, at 5.4 Main Street USA at Magic Kingdom, and that's roughly the times. It's going to be estimated, so 5:20 to 7:30 a.m. And it tells you on the details how to get there. So if you have loved ones, make sure that you make a copy of this, write it down, whatever it is, so that way they can actually see you. And make sure that, again, they know what you're dressed as, bib numbers, make a nice sign. Those are actually pretty cool. Race transportation. And it's exactly the same thing, so we know what we're doing. Unofficial results, we're gonna go, we already went over that. So map, and this one's gonna be a little bit different because you see the start is gonna be the same. We are gonna run up towards Magic Kingdom. And it looks like, and I did not get to, but now I'm finally gonna get to run the newer course where we're gonna go left instead of right, go into Magic Kingdom, exit, and then we're gonna come back down and then finish in Epcot. But if you notice, no World Showcase. So no World Showcase. We're just basically gonna cut across and we're going to finish outside. So that's where it looks like the old Horizons, or it looks like Horizon, but it's not. It's got a Cosmic Rewind. We're gonna run around, basically even see it from a distance, and so that's it. But again, look at the mile markers. There's gonna be a food stop, and so that's gonna be in orange. The medical and the water stops. So if you look at the map, you'll see the water stops, you'll see the medical tents. And again, if you get stuck somewhere medically that's not close to a medical tent, there's going to be people on bikes. Make sure you wave them down and they take care of you. If I'm around, just let me know and I'll look for you. And so that's it. So let's continue going. We're almost done. The yoga. Never done yoga. So that's Monday. That's 5 a.m. And it's at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So make sure that it says 1 hour of yoga experience. What you get is you get a yoga mat with carrying strap, bottled water, complimentary guest parking in Hollywood Studios between 4 and 4:45. Guests must bring their valid ID and they're going to be a completed yoga check-in pass. So it begins at 4:15. Parking lot will open at 4. Security bag check-in will open at 4. You must arrive by 4:45. Guests will be exited from Disney Hollywood Studios at the end. So you cannot just stay in the park. You must be 10 years or older. Yoga location is subject to change. So yoga transportation. check back closer to the event, more details. Since I'm not doing it, I don't know enough about it and talk about it, but they do take care of you and stuff. All right, so now we're just going to go into these right here. So real quick is going to be the Starlight Children's Foundation. This is the highlighted charity that they do. So if you want to read these are all really good charities, really good stories. If you want to click on the videos, they will actually give you some really good insight of what the charities have to do. So in case you want to run for charity later on, you can actually look them up, contact them, and so forth and so on. And then again, the information right here, learn more, donate. And so again, I would really advise, if you're going to do that, go into it and really do research, because the stories are the ones that really get you. And so that's at Disney Springs. You do get discounts, so I'm not going to go over this, but if you have your bib or your medal, you can take it. And for example, the Boathouse has 10% discount, applies to the regular price of food and non-alcoholic beverages, excluding the applicable tax, whatever, retail and stuff. So there's going to be shopping, there's going to be experiences. So make sure that if you want to do any of these things, you want to go to the M&Ms and pick up some stuff, House of Blues gear, look at this, because you can get some savings. Alrighty, we're almost done. Upcoming Run Disney events. Now this is cool because I've noticed this. Whenever there's some that's open, it actually says register now. So we do know that as of now, the February virtual runs are here, are still open. The Run Disney Springtime Surprise, which I think is just a 10-miler now, and then the Halloween half, which I won't get into why it's not selling out, and at least not now. All right, so all booths. So we can do one of two things. We can scroll down, or we can do the digital expo. And wait, wow, it's going to the other one. So it usually gives us all booths. So we're just going to go to all booths. So Advent Health is one that usually has some stickers. They have a sticker sheet, which is really, really cool. A lot of my Run Disney friends are now used to going over there and getting it because, yeah, some idiot told them to go get it. So I'm not going to go over all of them, but because you can go over there. So I would look at, especially if you're interested in any of them, like Echelon Fitness, it says claim your Run Disney offer. So click on it to find out what it is. Honey Stinger, they're in your box. They're actually pretty good. OtterBox, just on down the line. Sport Bean, Fit to Run, which I told you has a really, really big presence at the Expo. And if you forget anything, National Running Center, some of these things I'm not as familiar with. Shocks is usually there. The sweaty bands. Now the one that's missing as usual, and I usually bring it up a few days before, is Jeff Galloway. And I always say, go and say hi to Jeff. And then I keep telling people that, and the lines get longer and longer. So now I'm not able to say hi to Jeff. And so, because the lines are super, super long by the time I get there. But he is a great, fantastic human being. I always like this when the stories are, for example, my friend Jonathan, when people ask me, is he good at this? Is he good at this? And I said, he's great at this and great at that. But even more so, he's a greater human being than even on top of all that stuff that is labeled on him. So Jeff was a great runner. He can't run as much anymore. I'll let him tell you the story and stuff. But he is also, even above that, he's a great human being. And on my side, I like to call him a friend. Anything that he ever asks or needs of me, I will be there for him. He's a great, great human being, and love his stories and that. But that is basically it. If I missed anything that you might have questions about, just comment down below, and I'll try to help you out. What I want to start doing, and I might start doing this in February, is like on a Sunday afternoon, evening, have like an hour where I'll go on Facebook Live and I'll answer questions that people may have, interact. I am one of those, I like interacting with people. I want to start doing more and more of this, and I'll announce more stuff as we go on. But remember, comment down below, and hopefully we'll see you sooner than later. So if you have any other questions, like I just said, please comment down below. I'll try to answer your questions, but the whole goal of these videos is that you learn to where to go get the information on your own. If after that you still have questions, let me know. If I can help, I will. If not, at least I can try to send you to where you can get the answer, because there is some stuff that I'm not 100% aware of or understand, because I don't do a lot of that stuff. But we have a lot of stuff that's going to be going on. As promised, I got this video, but then we also have Disneyland that's coming up. We have registration for Wine and Dine shortly after, and I met quite a few of you here, and then they were saying, well, how do I register? It's impossible. And I said, you know, I'll do another video to make sure that you guys get it. It's going to be a little different because I'm going to be able to register early, so we're going to have a little bit more information for you guys. And then after that, we have Princess Run. So there's quite a few things that are going to be going on pretty soon. So keep your eyes open. Keep that notification bell on, so that way we know what's going on. And without further ado, create a magical day, create a magical run. And guys, see you sooner than later.